Are you ready to start your own podcast? I've been podcasting since 2013. Get lots of questions about is it easy to do, how to do it. So I want to create this video to show you how truly easy it is once you have everything prepared to launch a podcast. And I'm going to do it showing you launching an actual podcast. That's right. I'm launching a second podcast. And I thought, hey, if I'm going to launch it, why not show you the process to go through to launch it? Now, if you are a blogger or you have a website, you understand that you need a content management system, also called a CMS, in order to manage the content. In terms of blogs and the internet, WordPress is the most popular one, although there are products like Squarespace and Wix and Weebly that you can use as well. Now, podcasting is the same. Normally, you have a podcast host, like a WordPress, where you provide them your audio. You upload each episode, which is like an MPEG-4. Actually, an MPEG-3. MPEG-4 is video, but you get the picture. You upload the audio, and then they will serve it to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Music, Amazon Music, and so on and so on. That is what they do. That's what they're built for. Now, let's start looking into a few different podcast solutions that are out there that I have personally used. So the first one is Libsyn. Libsyn is, well, they're the grandfather, I suppose, of all podcast hosting. They're where I started. They're where a lot of people have their own podcasts. And they are probably the biggest in the market, without a doubt. The problem that I have with Libsyn is that the user interface is extremely old, like really old and really difficult to find my way around in, so much that I had to hire someone, I joke you not, to help me figure out how to use the freaking user interface on Libsyn to be able to better maintain my podcasts. Now, just to give you an idea, right now, as I record this episode, you see that, Libsyn, very reasonable. You can get started at $5, $15, $20, $40. So it does not have to cost a lot of money to start a podcast as far as the hosting goes. Now, after I hired someone to help me figure out the Libsyn user interface, I decided, you know what? I just need to move to something simpler. I did a little research and I found Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout is where I moved my Maximize Your Social Influence podcast about a year ago. And hey, Buzzsprout's helped over 100,000 people. The user interface is really, really easy to understand. Hey, Pat Flynn is a supporter or a brand advocate, so that's always good. And it's been working really well. As you can see, also very, very reasonably priced. But as things turn out, and I'm about to launch my second podcast, there's a few more advanced things that I want to do. Also, if you begin to record podcasts, there are other things that come up. Like if you do interviews, how do you end up recording those interviews? You could do it over Zoom, not the best audio quality. A lot of podcasters do it. Or you can use other solutions that are out there. Those other solutions also cost money. And then what about dynamic ad insertion? Now, this is a big thing to me. Let's say I have a new, ebook coming out, or I have a new course that I'm offering, or I'm going to be speaking at a huge event that I want to drive ticket sales for. I want to be able to insert a little piece of audio that goes into all of the current 190 episodes that I've published in my podcast and be able to tell everyone about it. This is something where you need a little bit more advanced solution. And that's why I am now moving over to this solution called Wishka. As it says, Wishka is powerful audio content management. Maybe for beginners, Libsyn and Buzzsprout are great solutions, but when you want a little more and you want something a little more advanced, Wishka is probably going to be a great solution. You see that, yes, they do have a less expensive solution starting at $29 a month. And here's the thing, free automated transcription, free cloud recorder. And this is where you're going to be able to record Zoom calls in high fidelity audio using their platform, a cloud editor. You can have private podcasts. If you have clients that you want to offer a private podcast to, this allows you to do it. and the analytics, which is really important to me understanding more about who's listening to my show, what they're listening to, is IAB certified, and on and on and on. Wishkah, in complete disclosure, also, I've gotten to know the founder and CEO of Wishkah, and he's hooked me up to put it in eloquent words. So that's another reason, but that's not the only reason. And I'm not getting paid to shoot this video. Whether it's Wishkah or Libsyn or Buzzsprout, I want to show you how easy it is to launch a podcast. And I'm going to be using Wishkah to show you that for those reasons. Makes sense? We're all cool here. Full FTC disclosures. Let's now move into the Wishkah platform. So literally, we're here. Begin by creating a show. So let's create a show. Right now, I got nothing going on in Wishkah. I literally just launched this account. So we are going to create a show. Note that I can import my show from Buzzsprout, which I plan to do in the very near future. But for now, we're going to create a show because I'm excited to announce that I am going to be launching a second podcast. And this video is actually the first time I'm actually announcing the name, and you're going to be able to see the logo and understand who my co-host is as well. I know if you're a new listener to this channel, you don't really care. So let's move on to the details. So show the details, title, subtitle, description. Now, everything here is all ready. So, and you see we already have a bunch of episodes recorded, but okay, here is the podcast. This is a brief that we created for our guests and what have you. And then, ta-da, we have the main icon. Once it pops up here. There we go. The School of Influence podcast with co-hosts Amanda Russell and Neal Schaffer. So, the School of Influence podcast. And then the subtitle with Amanda Russell and Neal Schaffer. Well, let's just get that cover art. Oh, where'd that go? I hate when that happens. We're going to go back here to where I was. Nope. Okay. Let us browse, and we're going to get that uploaded right here. We go to my desktop. We go to School of Influence, and we have the main assets, and boom, there it is. So this is now uploading, and ta-da, one upload complete. And now we got that going on. And this is what shows in Apple Podcasts, et cetera, et cetera. We have a description. We got the description right here. And just for those of you who may not be familiar, why do some people or brands command cult-like followings while others struggle to stay afloat? Why do some people rise to social media stardom while others can't get anywhere? The answer, influence. Is it a genetic trait or something you can learn? What is their influence derived from? And what are the takeaways that we can implement in our business and our personal branding? Two of the world's leading experts in influencer marketing have come together to bring you the answers with concise, no-nonsense interviews of top influencers across categories. Amanda and Neal's unique dynamic is both engaging and provocative. They ask the tough questions to get the real, raw answers that you can put into practice today. No fluff, no BF, just the real story. And that, my friends, is the School of Influence podcast. Okay, so English is our language. This is episodic, and so serial means you're almost like podcasting a novel where you must go from first to last. Episode is the default, what most people are used to, where they subscribe, and whenever there's a new episode, they see it and they hear the newest episode first, although they can change that in their Apple Podcast settings or their app player settings like I do. Number of seasons, we're just going to do one because we're just starting out. Hey, here's my email just so that you see. Here's my author name. Copyright text. So we'll say copyright. You know what? This is a really good question. So I'm going to go to my own maximize. If you're ever in doubt with any of this, just go to someone else's podcast and see what they have written. I'm going to go to my own, and I don't see any copyright information here. So we're just going to go back here, copyright Amanda Russell and Windmills Marketing. That's the name of my company. The primary categories, this is very much a business, but within a business, we're going to go for marketing. Very cool that they allow me to add additional categories. Apple does not recognize these, but some of the other platforms might. I don't think that Buzzsprout actually gave me this opportunity. So we're going to do entrepreneurship, and we'll do business, and we'll do management. How's that? Cool. You know what? We'll just add careers as well. I think, hey, self-improvement, because this is about influence. That's sort of cool. I get to add a bunch of things. No need to go overboard. And really, the most important one is this very first one. Advanced settings. This is where if you want to create a private podcast, which more and more companies are doing, this is where you would do it. We can have, obviously, if we have a private show, we can have a private title. Tracking URL prefix, for right now, this is not important. An external show page. I am just going to put this down for now. Well, you know what? We're not going to put an external show page down for now. We'll work on that later. But normally what you would do, because this is being co-hosted by two people, we're going to have sort of two different websites. But this is sort of the idea, is that you would have one URL here. You know what? We'll just do this. Normalize loudness. Sort of makes sense to do this. This is what, when I did my onboarding call with Wishka, what they recommended I do. So, hey, we'll do that. And I've also been told that we definitely want to say clean, because sometimes if you do unrated, sometimes it just doesn't work right. So if you know it's going to be clean, i.e. you don't use explicit language, you want to keep it at clean. And I know that sometimes you may want to say something, use an explicit term starting with an F or an S. If you really want to go the explicit route, you can. But, Apple Podcasts and others do have filters, so it will limit your audience. May not limit it by much, but it does limit your audience. Some people may love to listen to explicit episodes. It's all up to you and your branding and how you want to do it. Enable advertising dynamic content. We're going to turn this off for now. This is what I'm going to do in my own podcast, but this is what I was telling you about, not just being able to offer this dynamic sort of content to go out across all of your episodes, no matter when you post them. But obviously, if you do advertising on my podcast or on this new podcast is not sort of the business model. We're selling our own products and services. But if that's something important to you, you can do that. I'm going to turn off that external service. Okay. Enable the Wishka show pages. So this is going to give a URL where we can lead people to find out more about the podcast. And enable a public RSS feed. Yes. This is what enables us to upload this to Apple Podcasts, what have you. So we're just going to do a episode limit of, we don't even need 400. We're starting off from scratch. So it's going to take us, 4 years to get to 200. So that should be okay. So now we're going to create the episode, or I should say create the podcast. We are launching the podcast. We've created a show. Now we have a public show URL. RSS feeds without a published episode are not valid. In other words, we need to publish an episode before we get an RSS feed to register in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, what have you. This is why we decided to create a trailer. A trailer is a way of getting something up there so that you establish a podcast, building a little buzz, and allowing people to subscribe so that when you launch your first episode, you already have a trailer up there for a few weeks and you begin to acquire subscriptions. So hopefully with your first episode, you launch strong. Really good from what I've been told. I'm not a podcasting expert per se, but really good for the algorithms of the podcast players to show that there is some momentum behind your podcast. So public podcast directories right now, I suppose without a show, we can only submit to Google Podcasts. So this is fine. We have the overview. We have 0 listens. That's totally cool. We're going to do this a little bit later in this process as I shoot the video. We are going to go to the episodes. Now we're going to create our first episode. Hey, I'm back again. Okay. don't freak out. I started freaking out. I actually shot a little bit more, which I had to edit out. If you are the type of person like me that always has like tons of tabs open on your Chrome, you're going to have to refresh them once in a while. So I tried to upload the trailer episode and was unsuccessful. I had to contact Wishka support. Fortunately, they are a company from down under, but they have amazing support right here in the United States on American hours. Obviously, I'm assuming they have support in Europe as well for my European listeners. And they were able to tell me that they use the highest security standards, meaning that if you leave the tab open too long, you have to log back in order to do important things like upload files. So I didn't realize that. And it's like, oh, now I get it. So that's why I'm literally wearing something different, because this is the next day. But hey, it's all about keeping it real. I mean, sorry, that was my Alfredo pesto, or pesto Alfredo, or chicken Alfredo penne. It was so good. I don't even remember what it was, but it was just really good. So, sorry about that. But yeah, this is like real life. This stuff happens, but it's cool knowing that, people get back to you fast, and that's really what you want in a support organization. So it gave me the opportunity to give the Wishka support just, a feel for how responsive they would be, and they were really responsive. So that's a thumbs up. So we're going back in. Don't freak out. This stuff works. We're going to go back in. And as you remember, well, this is the same video, so you know how far I got. We have the episode. When we go to the episode, we have the show. Now we need to upload an episode. This episode is going to be the trailer. So, you notice there's an option to add an uploaded file to a media library. It's always just a best practice to do that from a backup perspective. So what we're going to do is I'm going to conveniently just nope, it's not that one. It's got to be this one. Conveniently take the audio file here, and we're going to stick it in, and you see it's uploading one new file. That's all good. In fact, Wishka support is emailing me right as I talk to you. Okay, so the upload's complete. This is just a teaser. It's not very long. If I want, I can listen to it. Oh, if I play it now, you're going to get, it's a teaser. You're supposed to go to YouTube to subscribe and listen to it. So I'm going to force you to do that. But now we see the audio. There are various things we can do. If you're like a podcast geek, hello, this is your platform. This is, especially if you want to insert dynamic ads, which is one of the things I was talking about, dynamic promotions of my own things going on. To give you an example, if you ever listen to Pat Flynn's, passive marketing income podcast, passive income marketing podcast, you'll see or you'll hear that at the beginning and at the end, he's dynamically added promotions, well, either advertisements or promotions. He adds advertisements at the beginning, and then he adds promotions at the end, right? And I'm listening to stuff I'm still catching up with this podcast. So I'm listening to 2015, 2016 episodes, and he has stuff that's going on now in the ads. And it's like, well, how do you do that? How do you roll that out across all of your episodes? I'm already on my Maximize Your Social Influence podcast up to, 200 episodes. This is how you do it. You establish these markers in certain positions. You open them up for a certain amount of time, and that's where you dynamically insert whatever the heck you want to insert. They call these campaigns. So, hey, this is a lot to chew on in one video. I just want to set the stage that this is not your grandma's podcasting platform, okay? This is seriously really intensely powerful stuff here, and I'm really excited to get into it. But for the purpose of this trailer, we don't need to go that far, right? Okay, so annotate, edit audio, replace. We don't need to do any of that stuff. We're looking good. We need a title though, so I'm just gonna say 00 the school, introducing the School of Influence podcast. And I'll just toss in trailer back here so everybody understands what it is. Listen to influencer marketing authors and professors Amanda Russell and Neil Schaefer listen to them talk about why they are launching the School of Influence podcast and why you should be excited enough to hit the subscription button and listen in. Hey, we're marketers, right? You got to have the call to action there. So we're going to use the image from the show. There are some people that use a different image with each episode. No, that's too much work. Just one image, right? You don't need to go overboard. Although each episode will have a separate image for social media. That's another story. But in terms of, branding is about being consistent. So I think keeping the show image for every episode is the best way to brand it so that people remember Amanda standing there or me with my arms crossed in a black suit. So we have the School of Influence podcast, the show, the type required. This is a trailer. Fortunately, Wishka has us covered there. It's the first season. I don't even know if we can do anything. It's actually episode number 0. I don't even know if it'll allow us to do that, but I'm just going to type it in anyway. And then we have some tags. So I don't actually do tags for my Maximize Your Social Influence podcast. I might start doing it because Wishka, it literally says recommended here. So we do commas and they turn into tags. Influencer marketing, business, entrepreneur, if I could spell right, entrepreneur. There we go. We'll throw in digital marketing. We'll throw in social media marketing. We'll throw in digital influencer. Yeah, we'll even throw in like Instagram influencer, blogger, podcaster, YouTuber. I'd say that's enough. You don't need to go overboard. We don't have a custom URL here. So the release date is, we're just gonna do it now. So you can actually see it being published and what the next steps are. The Wishka folks said they recommend that you choose either clean or explicit. Sometimes, Apple Podcasts and stuff, they get a little bit confused when you don't do anything here. So we're just going to do it clean. I think it's going to be clean. It's a serious, business podcast. And then normalized loudness, they recommend that I do the default here, which is -16, should be good. But if you're a podcast geek, that might be something serious. And we're ready to go, right? I mean, release time was 7:18 p.m. I could do tomorrow morning, and I could just, maybe it's best to actually do it in the morning. And that way, like tonight, I can sort of generate buzz for it and get people excited to see it. And maybe I'm going to do that, In fact, you know what I'm going to do? We're going to do Thursday, December 10th. And we're going to do, you know what though? Now we're just going to do it now because it's not going to be registered in iTunes anyway. So we're going to do it now. And then we're going to generate some buzz about it. And then we get it going in iTunes, and then we have an Apple Podcast URL that we can drive people to, or a Spotify URL to get them to subscribe to. Maybe that's what we'll do. Anyway, we're just going to record this now. Sorry. As you can see, I didn't really think about a lot of this in advance. I didn't do a trailer for my Maximize Your Social Influence podcast, which is why. So we're going to create. And when we create, it's live. Episode has been created successfully. We now have episode number 0. We have the trailer. The published date is 8 minutes ago. It actually backdated it. And most importantly now that we have an episode published, we now have this public RSS feed URL. It is this URL. And by the way, we have this as well. So let's check out the show page URL that Wishka provides us. So we don't need to create our own website if we don't want to. But boom, here we go. Now, I think it has my name here because I was the one who created this. Or maybe it's because, my name is attached to the email address. Anyway, that's sort of weird, but obviously this is Amanda and myself. We can send people here. They can subscribe via RSS, but really we want to get going on these directories. And once we get going on these directories, they'll show up here as well, and we can get people to subscribe. Or we could send them directly to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Deezer. And once you're on Apple Podcasts, by the way, you get on a ton of places. So you know what? This has been a long freaking video. So you get the picture of how easy it is to launch There is one more step, which is getting it now registered onto Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Like I said, maybe I'll do another episode for that. Really, the key is getting the public RSS feed URL, which you need to publish an episode in order to do, which is why I'm doing a trailer episode. It just makes a lot of sense. So I hope you're as psyched to create your own podcast, or maybe you found this video because you're thinking about changing to Whooshkaa, sort of wondering what it's like in the back end. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hey, we're back on my YouTube page. Hey, a reminder, if you have any questions, feel free to put a comment below this video or hit me up on YouTube, social media. I got a website. It's all neilschaffer.com. The real Neil, spell our names Neal, obviously. And Schaffer is SCHAFFER. And I hope that you'll subscribe to my channel as well. If you want me to make more of these types of videos, if you found them interesting, you found them stupid, I don't know, just let me know. Any criticism is good criticism. Helps me improve my game, because I hope to do a lot more of these YouTube videos. And also, please make sure that you check out the School of Influence podcast on Apple, Google, wherever you listen to podcasts. And, it's funny. I don't do a lot of editing on these because I want to keep it real. So it's Pat Flynn's Smart Passive Income Podcast. Duh. Can't believe I forgot that. And it's also, you subscribe to a podcast, not you subscribe to YouTube to listen to the podcast. Anyway, that's my attempt at doing edits of what I just said. Anyway, that's it. Done. Thanks again for listening. Hope you'll subscribe to my channel and to the School of Influence podcast. We'll talk to you later. Ciao.